New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, the beautiful Laura Stiles, Rosenberg, and give it up for Ma'a and Sessa, the family of Dr. Sebi, on the program today to clear up some things and have some real talk about what's going on with Dr. Sebi's legacy. Good morning. How are you?
Good day.
Good morning.
Good day. Good day. So Ma'a, you are the wife of Dr. Sebi, and
Exactly.
Sessa.
I'm his son.
Yeah. There are, before we get all the way in, right, we hear of the controversies and the things around not only Dr. Sebi's legacy, his healing, and then now with the passing of Nipsey Hussle, the murder of Nipsey Hussle. Dr. Sebi's name was thrown around as a part of a controversy to, silence and make sure Dr. Sebi's story was not documented by Nipsey Hussle. I'm sure you guys heard of all of that, and I'm sure that's why you're out speaking now. Can you let us know what is going on with the documentary around Dr. Sebi and plans?
Well, as the public knows, Nick Cannon said he was going to be picking up the documentary. He definitely reached out to us. We were never in communication with Nipsey when he was, conversating about the documentary about my father, Dr. Sebi. But Nick Cannon, since, after Nipsey Hussle's passing, Nick Cannon definitely reached out to us, and he said he's going to be picking up that documentary.
So you were not talking to Nipsey Hussle before?
No, we were never talking with him. He was talking to a different camp.
So, all right. So I saw a quote and a video just now of Dr. Sebi, I guess shortly before he passed. In the video, he says he's 82, which I think he passed when he was 82, 83.
Correct, he was 82 when he passed.
He says, quote, my wife, or he says, my ex-wife or my wife, my managers, my daughters conspired against me in the video.
Yes.
What is he talking about?
He's talking about a woman, her name is Patsy Williams, her legal name, and that she goes by the name of Mrs. Dr. Sebi. So that's who he's talking about when he talks about conspired against me.
Got it. And so
that was a prior wife. Yeah, my father, my father was a Rolling Stone. Everybody kind of knows that. So it was he's 82 years old, so he had multiple marriages during his, 82 years on this planet. My aunt was the original woman, and I'm gonna let my mother speak, but she got the floor.
No, well, it's just different chapters in his life. We started in the 70s.
Yeah, it says 1973.
Yeah.
Was when you guys started really doing the healing work.
We started, it was more our romance because we started going out to traveling to Mexico and collecting herbs, and it was our adventure. It wasn't us really starting out saying, okay, we're going to do this healing and we're going to cure these people. No, and then we started with our travels. He picked up people because that was his personality, that were talking about how they collected these herbs and they healed these people in this village. This little girl had cancer and he was collecting herbs for his daughter. Then this man was talking about he was collecting herbs for the village, that everybody was dying of a snake and he was collecting those herbs. And then we went to the marketplace and we went into the forest, and that's how we really began collecting herbs, and then came home and we drank these herbs, and we felt so good. So that was like kind of the beginning.
So when was it's called Usha Village?
Correct.
When was that founded? And
That was founded, and I just want to go back to Ebro's question because I want to definitely answer your question because he was talking about my ex-wife, this and that. What's really important, I think, for the public to understand and really know is that when you talk about Ma'a and you talk about the Fig Tree products, she's the one that founded the products with Dr. Sebi, right? He's the one, that's the individual that when he started, that's who he was with. That's the one that he went to the Caribbean when we went to Dominica and then opened up the first store in St. Croix. This is who he was with. When we talk about Dr. Sebi's court case in 1988, and I hope I'm not jumping, Ebro, in 1988, this is the woman that's listed on that court case, on that document, and I think you guys have, you guys can post that.
I'll post it.
Yeah, most
the whole
definitely. You guys
timeline
exactly,
of
and you can see her name. So that's what we're here really to clarify, because there's a lot of people, and it's individuals that was associated with my father, but unfortunately those individuals weren't there. My mom has a hashtag, "Were you there?" you know, and so it's 40 years of
Eyes out here
history.
with hashtags now. Clarify.
So, but now to answer your question, the Usha Village was opened right after the court case. You know, my father had his court case in 1988, and then right after that, you know, we went out there, my mother, my father, you know, the whole family, and he founded the Usha Village, and we didn't take out loans for that. That was funded directly out of his pocket, out of the Fig Tree's pocket.
Now, are you guys involved in the Usha Village?
No, we're not involved in the Usha Village at all. That's something that's definitely important to clarify to people, because that's being ran by my father's ex-business partners, which reside out in Los Angeles, which operate, you know, a different entity.
So how many different sort of camps, if you will, are there related to your father?
Well, there's when you talk about the actual products itself and the company, right? So to kind of give you guys a little bit of history, my mother and father founded the products and the company,
That's
Fig Tree.
Fig Tree Health.
The Fig Tree Health Group, or the Fig Tree. The original company is the Fig Tree, right? It's just turned into the Health Group because it's, you know what I mean? But going back into it, that's the Fig Tree. That's the original company. And then in their kind of separation in 99, 2000, he went out to Los Angeles and opened up what we hear now is Dr. Sebi's products out in Los Angeles.
And that's the Cell Food.
That's the
and
Dr.
these other
Sebi
things.
Cell Food you'll see on Instagram or whatever website, whatever may have you. That was opened in 99, 2000 when he went out there. But what people also have to understand too, because during that time between 99 and 2006, a lot of people, a couple entities that were working for him was throwing jabs at us, and it was counterproductive because they were selling the Fig Tree products. They were buying from us. They were buying from my mother because they didn't have the products yet. So from 99 all the way to 2006, they were still selling products that are labeled Fig Tree. So that's something interesting as well for the public to know.
And so, where we are today, right, is you have a lot of noise around your husband's name, okay? What do you want people to do with this moment in time? Like, what's important to you today?
What's most important for us is to stop. Just stop. All this confusion and all this talk is really about love and really caring about each other, and to understand we are sick and it's about the healing. I know it's confusion and I'm not in it. I'm not in the social media and all that, and all we're trying to do here is clarity. And to understand, really, it's a process, this healing process. It's not, okay, take these herbs, I'm going to get these herbs, or, I heard Sebi. It's not that. It's a process. And it's not just us healing. It's not, with all due respect, it's not about a healer or herbalist. It's you. You are the one that is the healer because it's your body that's healing. But what we're doing is changing the chemical state of the body and putting it in the proper environment to heal. So to understand, that's a process. That's not just, okay, take these herbs. No, it's a whole program.
And so what I'm hearing you say is part of the sickness is all of this negative noise and talk, because you can't heal your body if you haven't started healing your mind and your behavior.
It's first here. It is first here, changing that thought. Because what's happening is we have these toxic thoughts, and then we thrive on that. And those toxic thoughts create acid. Mm-hmm. And that acid
kills.
Definitely.
So there will be a documentary, yes?
From my understanding, based on Nick Cannon, yes, that's what he said.
And so,
and that's not from me saying it, right? He said that. Yeah. I'm not. You know what I mean?
What you just said, I feel we used to. How many years ago was that, Shawnee? We used to have Dr. Sebi call in.
I would say about 7 years ago.
No.
That was longer
You
than
think
that.
longer than that?
It was before you.
It was before
It was
you.
like
So this is like
05, 06.
11 years ago, right?
So probably once a month we would have Dr. Sebi. He would call in on the phone. And
Yeah, I
talk
remember.
Yeah. So shout out to Miss Jones, who had to connect back then, and we would just talk about healing and food and these things on the radio here.
Definitely.
And after his passing, there was, I remember, a lot of confusion on like who's running what, but I didn't get into the weeds on it because I know when you're talking about natural occurring herbs and substances that come from the earth, right? You just have to do the research and the reading material, and you can actually follow the path. There's not, as you pointed out, it really starts with the person wanting to do the work, right?
Correct.
So how does this documentary, how does the story get told? Like, what do you guys want people to receive beyond what you just said, Ma'a, in this documentary about Dr. Sebi?
You talk, but let the truth be told.
Okay.
Same thing. It's the truth, because that's what's misfortunate, because it's so many people attaching themselves to my father's name, and they don't know how to do the work, right? Again, when we look at the court case, when we look at that first page of the document, it says Fig Tree Products. That was proven in court. These other people that have been attaching themselves to my father's name because of money, so forth and so on, they don't know how to do the healing. They haven't done it. You know what I mean? It was my mother and it was my father. Now, all these other entities attach themselves, and they've trademarked my father's name, Dr. Sebi, but they don't know how to do the work. They haven't accomplished that, and it's unfortunate.
All the stuff that people can buy online right now, all the different type of herbs and capsules, so that, because now I'm confused. Now I feel like if I'm a customer and I'm thinking I'm going to like Dr. Sebi's, I'm getting all these like healing products, are they not legit?
You know, I can't speak on that. I'm not saying nothing's legit or not. I'm just saying that, you know, those are not the products that were proven in a court of law. And people could do the research. This is not me saying it, right? Because I would never come on the air and just talk falsehood. These are court documents. When you look at the court documents, it says Dr. Sebi, Alfredo Bowman, which is my father, my aunt Bowman, and Fig Tree Products. It's the first page of the document that you guys will be posting up, and you know, the citizens and everybody could see that. That's what was proven in court. You know what I mean? That's what won court. They sent that to Lancaster Laboratories, and it was proven as electric cell food. That's why if you look at the fig tree, we call it electric cell food. That's what's been proven in court. Anything else we can't speak about.
And these are the products that Dr. Sebi, when people, I don't know which doctors or the federal government came after him.
Yes.
Right, for him making claims
Yes.
that he cured AIDS and
Yes.
he cured cancer.
Correct.
Those were the products
Those were the products on the trial.
Yep.
Those are the products listed when he won his court case, and they're taking pictures of him. Those are the products that he's holding. It's Fig Tree Products, and it's listed on the court case, the first page, which you guys will be posting up.
And those products are still available?
Absolutely, right here in Brooklyn, and we have a office in Florida as well, which my sisters run. Wow. Yeah.
Ma'a, during the court cases, because how many different court cases were there? Was it just
There was one main, but there was one.
I think it was a civil court case as
civil
well.
court. That was the small one, but the main one was the federal.
And when the federal government, tried to take you guys down, right? And what happened during that time? Like, can you take us? You guys, people were reaching out and calling. Dr. Sebi had advertisements in the newspaper. You guys were trying to help heal the community, giving people alternative medicine. It's popular now, right? Alternative homeopathic methods
It wasn't like way back then when we started. It was considered voodoo.
Right.
And like, oh no, no. But now everybody's looking at it. But what happened then, it was when Sebi was first arrested, it was hundreds and hundreds of people calling. But one of the things that stand out, one of the scientists called, because it's only me answering the phone.
Wow.
And he said, well, he needs to win the Nobel Peace Prize or go 100 feet in the jail. I was like, wow.
Well, meaning basically, if he's the real deal, he should have won
Exactly.
these accolades.
He should have had that that credibility. If not, and he's lying, then he should go,
to jail.
And what were they trying? What was the court case? What were they trying to do? They were just trying to.
What were they trying to prove?
Yeah. What was the?
So in the court case, right, the legalities against him was practicing medicine without a license and claiming to cure incurable diseases. One of the things about the products was it was the court, it was the New York Supreme Court that sent our products to Lancaster Laboratories. Once they checked and did an analysis on those products, it came back as food. All the elements in our products are food. So when you get those results back, you can't be practicing medicine if you're not
just
dealing
giving
with
people
medicine.
food,
You see what I'm saying? You're
right.
literally, it's like me prescribing you spinach and broccoli.
And so, like, I know today, right? So people take CBD, right? People take CBD for a myriad of things, right? Which is cannabinoid oil from the hemp plant, which they take it for pain management, shrinking tumors for cancer. They take it for epilepsy, seizures. They give it to children. Like, there's a lot of things. But because of FDA, you can't claim that the CBD will fix these things. You can say that it can help, you know, but you can't make a claim. Was that basically what they were doing with Dr. Sebi? He was claiming that he cured these things. And so they were saying you can't make that claim until the government says you can make that claim.
See, he put the ad in the paper. AIDS has been cured by the USHA Herbal Research Institute.
That's our organization. It's the Usha Herbal Research Institute.
That's what it was, and Usha's our daughter. And so then that's what really triggered them. And so then they tried to set a trap by sending somebody to say, okay, I need to. And then what happened with that person was they really felt good. So on the stand, they're talking about how good they felt instead of incriminating him. Then about 70 people, less or more, came and testified or wanted to testify that they, by the doctor, had been totally and completely reversed of that particular pathology.
I want to elaborate when my mother says by the doctor, right? So when, since my mother and my father's been doing their work, they don't find out when someone's cured. The client, because we're not doctors, right? When we talk about Dr. Sebi, that's a moniker that was given by the people, just like we have Dr. Dre, right? So we're the last people to find out when someone's cured, meaning my mother and my father, when they're, you know, doing what they do and the clients come in, because the client will come in and bring their paperwork from their doctor signed off, because we're not doctors, so we can't run lab tests on you and testing.
Doctor.
They're still going to their doctor. They'll come back and say, hey, guess what? We've been cured of this or that. You know what I mean? And so we'll be like, oh, great. But it was a doctor that signed off on that. It wasn't us that signed. We don't come and tell you, guess what? You're cured today. It's their actual doctors. So in that court case, they're coming in, those doctors that signed off, HIV negative, HIV positive, right, so forth and so on, they had to come in and testify as well, because we didn't sign off on that.
And he ultimately got off because
He
of
was
that.
exonerated.
Absolutely.
So how often did you guys see people come in with cancer or HIV and follow the process of Dr. Sebi and end up being cured?
I can't even say how often, because it was hundreds and hundreds of people, and we're talking about at least 45 years. So these people now is recent. We going all the way back to the 70s, and these people coming. I can tell you distinct stories because they stand out. The man that had cancer of the throat, Mr. Motis, and he couldn't swallow, and they said he was going to die. They gave him the insurance, and so he could only take the herbs. He couldn't eat or anything, and then he felt good, and he was walking and totally reversed. And when he went to the hospital, they couldn't find it, and they couldn't believe it. They could not believe it at all. Like, no, this couldn't be. Or that man that had AIDS that used to walk up those stairs and could hardly make it, and he was barely making it, and he was dying. And then he started feeling better, and he started feeling better, and he was now back alive and kicking and doing it. And he went and got that test. That is where it started, that particular person. Now, I could go on and on with the stories with the people that have come, but it's endless people. It's hundreds of people. There's so many people. This little boy, he was dying. He couldn't breathe, and they said he was 13, and you could look in his eyes. This was in Honduras, and you could look in his eyes, and I knew he was going to make it through. And he was taking the herbs, and they didn't really even have the money for it. And so one day, they didn't have the oxygen, and this is Honduras, so it's different. You can't go and get it when you want to because everything is closed. And so everybody was crying because there was no more oxygen. And so what happened? They realized, oh, my God, he's breathing. he didn't need the oxygen, and he'd start playing the soccer game. And so it's endless stories of people that have come, and it has been totally reversed, like the blind man. That was the hashtag, were you there? But the blind man.
Literally a blind man?
Oh, yeah. There was a blind man that came. He was literally a blind man that couldn't see at all. And Sebi met him out on the streets, because that's his personality, and brought the man to the house. And he started taking the herbs, and he could see. And he said, I could see the end of the car. I could see the emblem. Way back then, the Cadillac had that little thing sticking up in front. Mm-hmm. He said, I could see, this is California, I could see the boy throwing the paper. We met his wife, his daughter. His daughter had epilepsy, was totally gone. His wife was sick. And he said, you know, I had diabetes, and I don't have diabetes anymore. I could see. But even recently, the man that came blind, and he said, oh, I'm going to tell my doctor when I could see. That's a whole nother story. But he's called me and said, I could see, I could see in Antigua.
Now, one thing I want to point out, you say, you often say, taking the herbs. But there's also, Dr. Sebi, when he would call in, he would talk about
food.
Well, not just food, but things to not do. There was always a list of things that he would encourage us to stop, right? It was the animal back then. I mean, even I'm there now, but the animal products, the dairy products, you know, the fast food, you know, there was a lot of toxic things that we're putting in that, because it's not just taking the herbs, it's often getting things out of your system that allow the
that's
good
what
stuff
we're
to
doing with the herbs, is getting the poison out. What we do is we eat nothing but poison food. We eat acid food, the uric acid, the lactic acid, the carbonic acid. And where we need to stop, I just try to put them just stage by stage and let go the milk, the cheese, the eggs. Because it's a process. We have become addicted to food, totally addicted to food. We eat junk food endlessly. So it is the basis of it. I always start with just the basic and say, okay, first just let go of that milk, cheese, and eggs. But now at this stage, it's hard because there's the hybrids, there's the genetic engineered, there's the GMO, and there's the artificial food too, like the carrots. They were made totally in a laboratory. So we have to be real careful, and all we can do is eat the lesser of. But this food is destroying us. This GMO that we're just kind of overlooking, it doesn't seem to be a big thing. The hybrids is one thing that's causing the conflict and breaking our body down. Well, first we're going to go with the acid foods. That's totally breaking our body down because our cells are made of a mucous membrane. That acid food is breaking it down. And so now you got this accumulation of mucus. But now this GMO, there are children that are coming. There's a lot of children with cancer. And there are children that are coming with cancer, and these tumors are growing rapidly, uncontrollable. It is the GMO, and they're not realizing because cancer already existed before GMO. So these diseases that you think you're commonly thinking about, you're not associating or correlating it with the GMO and that it's causing it. That's where we have to be careful. We have to be careful with the food. Definitely we have to be careful and be aware and be mindful of what we're eating, because it is what's causing the dis-ease in the body, which becomes that particular pathology.
Dis-ease. Interesting. So I guess the next piece of the conversation, did you know Left Eye?
Yes, personally.
And Left Eye was visiting you all in Honduras to study?
She was visiting, I don't know, I wouldn't say necessarily to study, but she was growing. I guess maybe you would say, okay, to study, because she was learning and she was interested, very interested in that. And she she brought people and say, okay, this is what you need. The group that she wanted to create, they were there at that time, and I was there at that time, and she got all into the sea moss and making the sea moss, and I thought it was really sweet, her bringing me the sea moss herself, right? And she got into the cooking of the food, and so I guess you would say learning.
Yeah, because she was learning how to eat, she was learning how to cook, she was
Exactly.
learning how to live. And because, you know, the Left Eye story is one of someone who had, we all loved, were highly entertained, made great music, but her behavior, right? She obviously had, you know, burnt down a man's house and was in abusive relationships and was, you know, had different public, you know, issues. If I recall, she was down there learning how to better herself from the inside out.
Yes, definitely. I just think that should be corrected, that she burnt the house down. I think it was an accident.
Got it.
She didn't do that on
purpose.
purpose.
Right.
I mean, yeah, she was mad at the man and wanted to burn his stuff up, but she didn't mean to burn the
whole
house. She said,
she just wanted to
"Oops."
burn up some sneakers and some
Yeah,
jeans.
that's it.
Didn't expect the whole house to go down.
No, she said, oops. But yeah, she was there. She was really there to heal from within.
Got it.
And she was. We were there sitting. We had long conversations, and and that is the point. It is healing from within more than just the herbs. It's changing the eating habits because we're toxic, and that's part of creating those toxic thoughts.
And toxic emotions and
Emotions,
all of
and
that stuff.
emotions, energy and motion. That's where it really begins. But it is healing from within. That's the true
Energy and
healing.
motion. And anytime you, obviously, someone would, with the controversies around Dr. Sebi's healing, the court case, Lisa's in Honduras healing. She gets into a car accident. It was a car accident, right? That was a story. People started swirling about controversy around her being harmed because she was trying to heal more people. Do you believe that there is some sort of faction that continues to try to silence Dr. Sebi's teachings?
I don't know. I really don't know, because there's two sides of it. There's two perspectives of it. How do we know for the facts what is really the facts? We as a people, we love sensation, and one thing said, and then we run with it, and then everybody's creating from that and assuming and speculating. How do we know for facts? I mean, we know what the other is capable of doing, and there's evidence that's pointing toward there, but do we know for a fact?
And Dr. Sebi's passing in Honduras, right? He was in Honduras. They put him in jail. Is that how the story went? And because he had money. Was it because he had a bunch of money in his pocket or something?
Yeah, this is what was reported, that, you know, when you travel, get on a plane, you have to report anything over $10,000 that you have that's cash, and he didn't report it, so they had him, you know, locked up at the time.
And do you believe something happened to him while he was locked up?
You know, there's a lot of speculations out there, but I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know.
Because obviously people think that, you know, harm was done to him because here you have this seemingly healthy man who then gets locked up after travel and then dies of pneumonia. As soon as
it doesn't seem normal, I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean? There was a reporter that was there the day before his transition, which was on Saturday, August 6th of 2016. And on that Friday, there was a reporter down there, and, you know, they reported that he was, you know, I had spoke to him, and they reported that he was totally fine in good health that Friday, you know. So transitioning from Friday into Saturday, no, it shouldn't have been anything that was different.
But there was somebody that we know personally that was there, that was talking to him the day before, and he said to her, "They're trying to kill me." He did say that. So who are they? Is the question.
well, we know who they are.
They is they.
We've been seeing they for a minute. Ma'a and Sessa, right?
Sisa.
Sessa.
Yeah.
You wrote down Magic Johnson. Why?
Same reason I put down Left Eye, just because there was a lot of controversy, or people speculated, was this true? Was he the person that Magic went to see that actually cured him or made the HIV virus stay subdued?
I don't know for a fact. I know that I think he sent people from his camp to get these herbs. And now you know that, well, there's no more talk about him and his situation. And I think that he did take those herbs.
We don't know for a fact. You know what I mean? That's for him to answer.
That's just been speculated.
Yeah, that's for him to answer. We would never. We don't know. We don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, we will. This will obviously be up for the world to get some clarity on what actually is going on with Dr. Sebi, and you guys are the original Fig Tree Health Group.
The original company created by Dr. Sebi. So when you talk about the products that he created, that was created along with my aunt, and that company that sells those products is called the Fig Tree.
And it says here on this timeline that in 2014, a new company was created in Dr. Sebi's name.
Correct.
Dr. Sebi Inc. replaces Dr. Sebi LLC. New company is open and operated by a non-family member.
Yes, that's the entities out there in Los Angeles right now. So when you hear Dr. Sebi sell food on Instagram or go out to a Los Angeles office that represents Dr. Sebi, those are the entities running his company now.
And because was never trademarked or nobody ever took ownership of the Dr. Sebi name, you guys can only say that it's not the original, but you can't really have any legal grounds to go take them down. Is that what we should understand from this?
I'm sorry.
So because, you guys started your company and started doing your work.
We didn't do the trademark.
You didn't do the trademark, and someone took the opportunity, did it. That was the manager, the other daughters, and what was the other woman's name?
She goes on Instagram by Mrs. Dr. Sebi. But no, that's not who we're talking about now in California.
Okay.
These are former business partners of his?
This is former business partners.
So
these are
a whole
non-family
other
members.
thing.
Yeah. So post 2014, right? 2014 moving forward is the entities now out in California.
Got it.
Those are all non-family members, and those are the people running out his office out there now.
And do you guys need legal support to get this handled? Like, is this something that the community can help you guys get control of Dr. Sebi's legacy and name?
I mean, that would be a beautiful thing. I think at the end of the day, I think what people have to realize is that, the entities using his name are not the original. That's not the original formulas. You know what I mean? And as far as legal representation, this and that, we could sit up here and ask for that, but that's not what we're here for. The Fig Tree's been doing what they've been doing. We never stopped. That company has never ended. It never, went in flames or anything like that. It's been a continuous company. So whether that company operates under their, whatever they're claiming they have ownership of, they could continue to do that because we're going to continue to actually cure people. And that's what we've been doing. That's what we'll continue to do. Our message is to tell people this is the original company so they can understand that, and these are the original formulas.
And do you talk to your sisters? Do you have any relationship with?
Well, my dad had quite a few children.
Got
you know
it,
what I mean?
okay.
It's many of us in different factions, and I got love for everybody. But when we talk about my sisters, we talk about Usha and we talk about Wiwa. Those are the ones that has always worked in the company. I was born into the company. Born into the family, born into the company. My father delivered me at home. He delivered Usha at home. Wiwa's been working in the company since she was 10 years old. Wow. She's now 48 years old. So it runs deep, you know what I mean? So when we see little things like that, like I could talk about like the Los Angeles company, when we talk about that entity over there, they sent a cease and desist letter to us. And so when we get stuff like that and we look at like, you can't do this and you can't do that, this runs in my veins. This runs in this woman's veins. She's been working in this. She's been doing this with my father since she was 20-something years old. My sister, again, Wiwa, she's been working in the company since she was 10 years old. She didn't go to middle school. She didn't go to high school. She gave that up. They were on the train in New York, sleeping at people's houses. My mother was breastfeeding me, pushing the cart, pouring the herbs, answering the phone. So when you have people that get on, different radio shows and say, I was there, they weren't there. They weren't there. She lives and dies this. My sister's literally lives and dies this. She's 40-something years old. She's been working since she was 10 years old in this company. So all these other entities, it's not you. That's not you. You didn't live and die for this. You didn't give this up. It's not running in your veins. You know what I mean? So it's a difference.
Well, it's good that we're getting the word out and sharing the information, right? And I'm sure that, after this conversation, there'll be some reckoning.
Most definitely. And we want to thank you guys. You know what I mean? We want to thank you guys for giving us that platform, because it's important. And it's not important talking about, we keep re-innovating. I mean, refocusing on the fig tree and Dr. Sebi, but it's about the people out there, because they have misinformation and they're going to this person and that person and this company and that person, and they're not getting what they need to get done. You know what I mean? So it's really for society. It's really for them to know where to, what the real is. And
even we talk about it a lot on the air all the time about, capitalism and monetizing people's sickness. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They get you sick so they can charge you when you're sick, so they can charge you to get healthy, so then you can get sick again, and then they charge you for this and they charge you for that, because they really don't want you to be healthy. There's money in making you sick.
This is not a business. This is about healing.
Yeah.
And the healing of the nation. And that's the part that Sebi wants, is that legacy to be carried on. To really know this is about healing in all the aspects of the healing.
That's right. Give it up one time.
Thanks, guys.
Ma'a,
Thank you.
Dr. Sebi's family. Thank you guys for your time today.
Thank you very much.